the swearing in of the Prime Minister on Tuesday. Listeners, I can tell you that there are some rumblings behind the scenes about what I understand, reliably informed, a series of planned, coordinated events. In this profession, you are taught and counseled to not give oxygen to planned disruptions of people's daily lives. So, you should not say it before it happens. You report on it after, but you don't give it oxygen. So I'll try my best to tell you what I know without giving oxygen to what is being planned. But I've been made to understand very reliably, that a series of actions are planned for Tuesday to coincide with Holness, Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, stepping forward to take his oath of office, to be sworn in rather, for a fourth time. And all I'll say is this, and I've said already, in this country, Jamaica, we are very special. I maintain when Jamaicans are good, we're better than every other national of every other country on the face of this earth. When we're bad, we're worse than the worst anywhere. And there are some of us who take this partisan consideration to such depths that we will stop at nothing. Even after you go to the country and the country is asked a question and the question is answered, people still not satisfied with the answer. And they're there, they have hammer, they have chisel, they have fire, and they're hammering away, trying to create holes in this boat called Jamaica. Because it will sink, because their captain is not at the wheel. Anything can go so? But that's the reality. People who take rabid politicking to a different level. And you know how I know how serious this thing is? The attacks that we come under here, and we speak about them because they are incessant, the attacks. You have family calling from overseas, very concerned about your own safety, when you yourself are saying, well, I'm doing my work, and they are very concerned about it because of what they see and hear on social media. I saw a little man on the social media the other day talked himself hoarse because of some things that were said here. And that's just a sample of the way people are in this moment. Project Jamaica now demands focus. There is a lot of work to be done. There are many roads to be repaired. Many that have been repaired that need repairing again. The water projects still continue. There's a need for development in so many areas. Education needs critical attention just the same. Life has moved on from September 3. Some people haven't, still stuck at September 3. I can give a pass to those who are celebrating, whether you're celebrating your MP, so your Labour Right MP win or your Comrade MP win, and you're happy and still celebrating, no problem with that. But those of you who are stuck in that vat of bile, everything around you bitter. Yes? You're drinking a cup of sugar and water, it's bitterish. Honey tastes bitter to you. Sugar tastes salty. Just because What you wanted to happen on September 3 did not. Have to move on. The country has to move on. And the country will move on. And the swearing is set for tomorrow, Tuesday. That too shall happen. And then we'll have to move on. So, if you want to lather yourself into rage, as they say, if you want to eat the sun or nyam the sun and dark up the place, to what end? What will it profit you? And so, that thing I heard about this morning, which I have not kept to myself, based on word I got, I was duty bound to pass it on to the authorities. And this thing has its origin in eastern Jamaica. Not eastern St. Andrew, no. Eastern Jamaica. The eastern side. And the investigators, the state agencies, I believe, are doing their work already to head off what some are planning to do tomorrow to mark their displeasure with what happened on September 3. Boy, Jamaicans, how could so many of us allow bitterness and bile to reduce us? It's troubling. But I take a break and I'll come right back. May I say thank you to Shelley Ann Fraser-Pryce for all she's done for this wonderful country, for all she's done for her community, for all she has done for her alma mater, for all she's done for our alma mater, the University of Technology Jamaica, for all she has done for every little girl, every woman, every little boy, every man. And, you know, in this day and age where epithets and titles and honor is just thrown around like confetti. Everything is great and everybody is great and everybody is this and legend this and queen this and queen that. Shelley Ann Fraser-Pryce firmly deserves the highest accolades that you could give to an athlete of any gender for her sustained excellence. And we're lucky to have been blessed with her. I was at the barber last evening and the barber was saying that, boy, what went wrong? And I said, what went wrong? What went wrong? Mrs. Fraser-Pryce is among the 8 fastest women in the world at her age. And he said, oh yeah, true, I never look on it away. And I said, well, there you go. It's perspective for you, son. Yeah? What she has achieved already, those others are now chasing. And it is highly unlikely that they will reach. That's how difficult what she has achieved is to accomplish. Highly unlikely that even one will equal what she has achieved. So what she has done already, the other 7 women are trying to accomplish. So think about it that way and you realize what we're dealing with. For every Jamaican over there in Tokyo, we wish you all the very best. Now back to the politics. When you look at the individuals who will take their seat inside Gordon House, not too long from now, perhaps next week at this time, the parliamentary session, the parliament will be in session, if not next week, certainly by the last week in September. And I can tell you, I had this conversation with our reporters at our meeting on Friday last. And I said to them that I know many of you got weary during the election campaign. And you were left enervated by the whole campaign and just the emotional toll it took. And by the way, enervated is one of those words that don't mean what it sound like it mean. You know, energized, no. It would be the opposite. But they were left enervated by it all. I said to them, well, I hope you're resting now. Because if you think you ride emotional roller coaster yet, if you think you've heard incredible claims made, barefaced lies told, and just a spirit of uncivility possessing some individuals, you better rest now, because when the parliament starts, that will be magnified by at least 10. And so I'm preparing myself to be surprised when certain actors don't act according to the script. I'm imagining that they are now writing and will be enacting when they sit inside Gordon House. It is going to be a bumpy ride. There's going to be noisy. It's going to be unruly. It will be a test of the democracy. It will also be an advertisement for the democracy. How strong the democracy is. How people's choices in the individual seats, how they use that privilege, and whether parliamentary privilege is used fully, honestly, earnestly, or if it's abused for political gain. I have an idea where my money would lie if I were to bet on a likely outcome. But Parliament will not be normal when things get rolling. You know, I want Jamaicans to take a step back. I want all of us to be committed to honesty and integrity. And one of the ways I describe and define honesty and integrity is this way. Honesty for me is telling the truth about something to somebody else. It takes many forms, so that's not the only definition. But I think that is the core of the definition of honesty. It's when you tell the truth to somebody else. Integrity is when you tell the truth to yourself. That for me is the honesty integrity paradigm. And I want us to celebrate the people who speak truthfully to us. I don't want us to demonize those who don't speak the truth to us. I want us to encourage them. Here's a Star Wars reference now. Encourage them to stray, to avoid the dark side. Encourage them to come into the light. Encourage them to be truthful as best as we can. But hold to account every woman, every man who is honest in their dealings in public office, and who, by virtue of their honesty, telling us the things that are truthful, is then living up to the integrity that makes truth-telling something second nature, like breathing. This election campaign has shown that there are many people who believe that if you dislike someone or something, if you tell enough lies, you can mash it down, you can tear it down, you can destroy it. Thank God, thank God that there are even more people who believe in this thing called truth, in honesty and integrity and in decency. I think, listeners, viewers, that decency was on life support before September 3. I think the vital signs are good now. But there's going to be a daily battle for decency to live, to thrive, to be able to walk on its own, to be able to run, to live a decent life. Decency is like a thing. And I see and hear so much thrown at decency. We want to kill off decency so that we can be in a position to make decency live again. And I ask again how that can make sense. When we have an electoral system that we tell the world is dodgy, is unfit for purpose, what do we think the world will say? Will the world say that, oh, it's the government in charge, that charge is being laid against? No. The charge is against the country. So when you take over the country, the stain remains. The skid mark can't wash out of the brief. And that's the truth. So the soul of Jamaica, it needs people who are good faith actors. So you love yourself, you love your family, you love your neighbor, you love your children, you love your neighbor's children. If we have that sense of community, if you can disagree with a man, your brethren, still drink a beer with him later. If you drink beer, you still go buy lunch with him. You still love your brethren just the same, even though you have different views. Why is it that we make partisan politics threaten to divide us into a nation of two distinct peoples? Why would we want to do that? Why is it that if you and I have different views politically, you determine that, oh, you don't believe what I believe in, alright, me hate you. You feel dead. That's what so many want this country to become. If you don't agree with me, you feel dead. Nationwide suffers from a lot of that. A lot of that. Internet warriors, keyboard warriors, say and do all kinds of things. And I never knew I'd live to see a day in Jamaica where the dunce is celebrated. You see, I said some things on Nationwide this morning a few days ago about the dunces. And man, predictably, some people are lose their mind reacting to it. It's not lie, me tell. I wasn't being unfair. The facts are there for people to see. So I say to Jamaicans this morning as I finish my little section and open the lines to hear from you. What do you want for this country? Do you want to preserve this democracy? Do you want to be able to live freely, think freely, express yourself freely? Then if you do, why would you deny those things to somebody else? The two of us see things differently. Why we can't just get along and carry on with life? Why me have to dead? Because I see things different from you. We must not, and we must fight hard. The ones who hate so strongly that they would trade away even their mothers to get what they want politically. We must use love and purge them of these negative sentiments, these negative feelings. Make we kill them with love. The group of us, the colony of us, The army of us who mean Jamaica well is bigger and more powerful and more influential than that other army who can only love Jamaica if for them party in power. As I told you before, if on September 4 the election result had gone differently, you know what I would have had to do on September 4? Wake up and come and work same way. September 3, the night of September 3, I got back here so late. It never makes sense to go home because it was like after 1 in the morning I saw Chevron here, Cara here, they were working on the news. And they were here from before day, as my granny would say, on September 3. I myself was here from after 4 September 3. So after 1, the day after, I still never got me yard yet. And I just slept in my office. Lock the door, turn off the light and just sleep 3.5 hours. Wake up 5. Look over the morning news. Ready again. I would have done the same thing if the result had been different, because the result would have reflected what Jamaica wanted. And I would have loved my country no less. I would have had no hate, no more hate than I have now. And I don't have no hate in me. Because it's my country. And I don't understand some of you. And you're raising children. And you want respect. You want friendship. You want relationships. But you only want it a certain kind of way. It's sad. And it is to be resisted. And love is what we're going to use. Love. Because hate against hate equal disaster. We're going to really prove that love conquers all.